Part 3. The main differences between Ruby and Sapphire, but in Emerald version, between the players' visit to the 7th and 8th gyms. Both Team Aqua and Team Magma summon their respectfully sought legendary Pokemon with mystical orbs stolen at Mount Prior. However, the legendaries refused to obey either team and they began quarreling with each other, which puts the entire world in a constantly switching state of drought and heavy rainfalls. The player must then head to the tower in order to summon the legendary Pokemon Rayquaza, who will quell the other two Pokemon's rage and quiet them down. Next game I'll begin telling you about is Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. The games were released in September 28, 2006 in Japan, and in the US, April 22, 2007. The games take place in a region known as Sinnoh, an island that is based on the Japanese island of Hokkaido. Sinnoh is not differently connected to any of the other regions. It is characterized by large snow-covered mountains. Mount Coronet in the Sinnoh region is part of the mountain range, divides Sinnoh in half. And unlike previous regions, Sinnoh has a northern feel to it, because it is the first region with snow-covered routes. Sinnoh is also characterized by waterways with 3 main lakes, Verity, Acuity, and Valor, that form the triangle. And unlike the Hoenn region, however, which is mostly water routes, only 30% of the landscape comprises waterways. Underneath Sinnoh's surface is the Sinnoh Underground, which is a large maze of caves and tunnels. The story is basically the same as Red, Blue, Yellow, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and Gold, Silver, and Crystal. The player starts his hometown in Twin Leaves Town in the Sinnoh region. After viewing a television report about a media-conducted search for the red Gyarados, which was spotted at a faraway lake, the protagonist and their best friend Barry, by default, travel together to check out the local lake for the Pokemon that look like it. Then they spot Professor Rowan, a Pokemon evolution researcher, and his assistant, the playable character that is not selected in the game. Either you choose Lucas or Dawn. And after a discussion, the professor and his assistant leave the lake, leaving the briefcase behind. When they were attacked by Wild Starly, the protagonist and the rival decide to examine the briefcase, and they are given a choice of one of the 3 starter Pokemon, a Grass-type Turtwig, a Fire-type Chimchar, or a Water-type Piplup, and proceed to battle the attacking Pokemon. After defeating Starly, Lucas or Dawn retrieve and return the briefcase to the professor. And noticing a bond that is forged between the young protagonist and his chosen Pokemon, or her Pokemon, Rowan offers it to them and asks them to embark on a journey to fill their Pokédex. The protagonist also encounters an antagonistic crime syndicate, Team Galactic, early in the game, where he or she must save the professor from some of the thugs. However, their motives were unclear until later. The player then encounters Team Galactic again when they try to take over a wind farm and set up a base in Eterna City before eventually taking over Sinnoh's 3 lakes in an attempt to capture the 3 lake guardians, Uxie, Azelf, and Mesprit. Shortly after, the player earns all the 7 gym badges, and before getting the final gym badge, Team Galactic captures the 3 Lake Guardians and imprisons them inside a science lab in the Team Galactic headquarters building, where the members extract crystals from Pokemon to create the Red Chain, an object that can control the legendary Palkia if you're playing Pearl version, or Dialga if you're playing the Diamond version. After releasing the two, the protagonist is able to access Spear Pillar, an ancient ruin atop of Mount Coronet, where the leader of Team Galactic, Cyrus, summons Dialga or Palkia. Then the legendary Pokemon's powers begin to overwhelm Sinnoh, causing the newly free Lake Guardians to attempt to stop it. The player then battles Palkia or Dialga by either defeating or capturing it, and then Sinnoh region returns to normal. Afterwards, the player continues their journey and tries to collect the final gym badge in Sunny Shore Gym, eventually making it to the Sinnoh region's Pokemon League Elite Four. After defeating all the four members, they battle a Sinnoh League champion, Cynthia, who appeared before in the game. The protagonist will defeat Cynthia, then become the new Sinnoh League champion, finishing the storyline. In the post-game, there is an island that contains never-before-seen Pokemon not seen from the other previous games, and has some new stores in the tournament center. The protagonist's old friend, who challenged them to battles multiple times before, will also be waiting for them here, and will challenge them to one final battle. When the games were very well received, with generally favorable reviews, most critics praised the addition of Wi-Fi feature and graphics, and felt that the gameplay, though it had not received much updating from the previous games, was still engaging. The games enjoyed more commercial success than the Game Boy Advance predecessors, with around 18 million units sold worldwide. Diamond and Pearl have sold over 2 million more units than its predecessors, Ruby and Sapphire, and almost 6 million more units than the Red and Blue remakes, while also outselling their other successors, Black and White, by over 2 billion copies. The games were among the most successful Pokemon games of all time. The next one is Pokemon Platinum, which is an enhanced version of Diamond and Pearl, which is basically have the same storyline as the original Diamond and Pearl, but the mascot on the box art is Giratina, who plays the central role in the game's plot. While it has one form in Diamond and Pearl, it is given an alternate form alongside a new area called Distortion World, which features altered physics from the normal land and of the Sinnoh region where the game takes place. The differences between the Diamond and Pearl storyline, it's basically the same plot. It features two new characters, the first being Charon, the scientist of Team Galactic, as well as the fourth and newest commander alongside Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, the commanders of Team Galactic, and the other being a detective investigating Team Galactic under the codename Looker. Giratina is also the focus of the plot, whereas Dialga and Palkia were the focuses in Diamond and Pearl, respectively. However, the player can still obtain both legendaries, whereas in Diamond and Pearl, the player will capture Giratina, the respective game's mascot. The player has multiple chances to catch the legendary during the game, with this being the first instance of the game, giving the player the chance to catch a legendary again after defeating it. New scenes were added into the plot as well in order to advance the story and give it more depth. One of the scenes includes the character sneaking into the Galactic's the player character sneaking into Team Galactic's headquarters alongside Looker and witnessing a speech performed by Team Galactic's leader Cyrus. In this speech, Cyrus depicts his plan to use the legendary Dialga and Palkia to create a new world without Spirit. When the games came out, When Pokemon Platinum came out, it was met with generally positive reception, holding an aggregated score of 84 and 83.14% on Metacritic and game rankings, respectively. It was praised for being the best video game being the best Pokemon game ever made, and also praised it for its additions and changes made to Diamond and Pearl. But publications such as IGN, Nintendo Power, and GamePro, although it has also been criticized for being too similar to them. IGN ranked it as the 9th best-selling Nintendo DS game ever made, as well as nominating as one of the best DS role-playing games of 2009. It was one of the fastest-selling games in Japan at the time and had sold 7.6 million copies worldwide by March 31st, 2010. The next is Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. They're basically the remakes of the original Gold and Silver, and the storyline is basically the same as the original. And one of the differences, it features one of the differences between the original games. In the Gold and Silver remakes, it includes a new type of Safari Zone located in Johto. The next one is And when Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out, the game director Shigeki Morimoto aimed to respect the feelings of those who played the previous games, while also ensuring that it felt like a new game that those that were introduced in the series in more recent years. The games received positive reviews from the critics, and as of March 2014, the game's combined sales reached 12.72 billion, making it one of the 2 games combined with the 8th best-selling Nintendo DS games of all time. The next game I'm telling you about is Black and White, the 5th generation. They were released in Japan September 18, 2010, and released in the US March 6, 2011. The storyline is basically the same as the previous versions: Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and Diamond and Pearl. The games follow the adventure of a young Pokemon trainer through the region of Unova as they train Pokemon to use to compete against other trainers while thwarting the schemes of a criminal organization, Team Plasma. The game introduced 156 new Pokemon, 5 more than the previous record holder, Red and Blue, as well as many new features, including a seasonal cycle, rotation battles, fully animated sprites, and triple battles. Both the titles are independent of each other but largely the same plot, while both can be played separately. Trading Pokemon between both of the games is necessary in order to complete the game's Pokédex. The game takes place in the Unova region, a continental mass located far away from the previous regions, Johto, Hoenn, Kanto, and Sinnoh. Unlike the previous regions, which were based on the real locations of Japan, Unova is modeled after New York City, an idea developed by the game director Junichi Masuda when he visited the city for the launch of Diamond and Pearl. One particular example of this is Castelia City, serving as the region's central metropolis and has such inspiration as the Brooklyn Bridge-style suspension bridge and huge skyscrapers. Masuda also wanted to convey a feeling of the communities in Castelia's streets. Unova is a host to large urban areas, a harbor, an airport, an amusement park, several bridges, and several mountain ranges. In addition to the diversity of the new landscapes, the Unova is also home to the diversity of people who vary in skin tone and occupation. Its Japanese name for it is Ishu.